My name is Putri Alia Maisara, metric number 306964. I will present to you introduction part. Franchising is an important business model that allows franchisee to operate a business using the franchisor brand, product, and business system. The industry contributes significantly to economic growth and job creation. However, there are still limited research on what make franchise business successful, especially in developing countries such as Malaysia. Therefore, the main objective of this study is to identify the critical success factors that contribute to the success of franchising firm from the perspective of both franchisor and franchisee. Next, let's move to research methodology. Research methodology that used in this article is qualitative study using focus group discussion, semi-structured interview protocol. The sample is 7 participants consisted of franchisor and franchisee from preschool and nursery, food and beverage, and service and maintenance industry. Data collection conducted in August 2022.
Next, my name is Noirma binti Jafri, my metric number 298Y93. I will continue the presentation about the variable underpinning theory and hypothesis used in this journal. This journal aims to identify the factors that influence the critical success factor of franchising business. There are 3 independent variables, namely franchisor capability, interconnection with franchisee, and constant innovation. The first variable is franchisor capability. It refers to the franchisor ability to effectively manage the franchise system, provide training, support, and guidelines to franchisee. The second variable is interconnection with franchisee. It refers to the relationship between franchisor and franchisee through communication, trust, cooperation, and information sharing. The third variable is constant innovation. It refers to the continued improvement of product, service, technology, and marketing strategy to remain competitive in the marketing. The dependent variable in this study is the critical success factor of franchising business. This variable refers to the key element that determine whether a franchisee business can achieve growth, profitability, and long-term sustainability. In terms of underpinning theory, the research adopted agency theory and resource scarcity theory. The first is agency theory, explain the relationship between franchisor and franchisee. This theory emphasizes the importance of communication, monitoring, trust, and cooperation in reducing conflict and ensuring that both parties work together the same business objective. In addition, resource scarcity theory explains about franchising allow business to obtain the resource need for expansion, such as capital, managerial expertise, market knowledge, and human resource. Based on the variable and theory, the research developed 3 research hypotheses. The first one is franchisor capability has a positive relationship with the critical success factor of franchising business. Next, interconnection with franchisee has a positive relationship with the critical success factor of franchising business. The third is constant innovation has a positive relationship with the critical success factor of franchisee business. In conclusion, the study suggests that franchise business success is influenced by the franchisor capability, strong relationship with franchisee, and continued innovation. The stronger the factors are, the likelihood of achieving long-term franchise business success.
My name is Nur Irdina binti Mazlan, metric number 307220. Let's look at how the researchers gathered their data. Instead of sending out standard, rigid paper survey, they chose a qualitative approach. In August 2022, they hosted an interactive focus group discussion. They brought together a panel of 7 industry experts. These include homegrown franchisor and franchisees, top officials from regulatory bodies and like PERNAS and the Malaysian Franchise Association, and academic professionals. The researchers took the audio recording, transcribed them, and used thematic coding to pinpoint the exact factors that drive success. So, what did they find? The study highlights three critical pillars for franchise success. First is franchisor capability. Franchisors need to lead by example on the ground and practice flexible crisis management. Interestingly, the business point out a 5-year rules. Successful franchises completely revamp their business model and technology every 5 years to avoid stagnation. Second is interconnection. A successful franchisee relies on an emotional partnership. You cannot just treat franchises as a legal contract. You have to treat them like a business family. Communication must be a two-way street because the franchisees on the ground understand the local customer best. Third is constant innovation. Business must continuously integrate digital tools like mobile apps, delivery tech, and online marketing to keep up the modern customer habits. To wrap up, let's look at the limitation of this research, which are important for future studies. First, it has a small sample size because it relied on one focus group of 7 experts. The findings might not speak for every single franchise sector in the country. Second, it is highly location specific to Malaysian unique ecosystem, so it might not apply seamlessly to international markets. Lastly, it is time bound. The data was collected in the middle 2020-22, meaning the insights were heavily shaped by immediate post-COVID-19 survival instinct.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Halimah Tasmani binti Ahmad. My metric number is 298177. Okay, to start our case study analysis, I would like to introduce a very successful local brand called Crispy Crust. They are a fast casual fried chicken franchise born right here in Kuala Lumpur. Over the past 10 years, they have managed to expand incredibly fast across Peninsular Malaysia, and a big reason for this aggressive growth was the heavy support they received from government entrepreneurship programs, specifically through Pernas. Now, to make sure the brand maintained its quality during this rapid expansion, the founder Encik Azmi established a highly strict and comprehensive SOP manual. This manual leaves no room for guesswork. It dictates everything from the exact chicken marination process up to how the front counter staff should run digital POS marketing. Okay, now this is where the core issue of our case begins. When Encik Azmi chose his franchise partner, he relied purely on a transactional checklist. He looked at two main things. First, did the applicant have at least 1,000 ringgit in liquid capital? And second, did they secure a high traffic location in a busy suburb? 2 years ago, based strictly on these paper requirements, he approved 2 new outlets that on the surface looked identical in potential but were run by two completely opposite individuals. For outlet A in Ipoh, he selected Madam Joanna. She came from a heavy corporate background as a regional sales director. She had excellent management skills, but what interesting is she had absolutely zero experience in the food and beverage industry. On the other hand, for outlet B in Bangi, he selected Encik Khairil. He was a passionate local entrepreneur who already knew how to cook and run a food business because he used to operate a trendy independent burger store right in that same neighborhood. So we have one operator with zero F&B experience but high corporate discipline, and another with plenty of F&B experience but a very independent mindset.
Hello everyone, my name is Umairah binti Azman, metric number 300143. Now, I will explain the operational realities of both outlets. At Outlet A in Ipoh, Madam Joanne managed the franchise as a structured business system. Although she had no food and beverage background, she strictly followed the franchisor's SOP manual and used the standard training modules provided by Crispy Crust. Her professional management experience helped to ensure consistency in daily operations. In contrast, Outlet B in Bangi was managed very differently. Encik Khairil preferred to operate based on his own entrepreneurial style. He frequently modified the chicken marination recipe, purchased ingredients from unapproved suppliers to reduce costs, and chose not use the centralized post system. As a result, the outlet failed to maintain the standardized operating procedures required by the franchise. Next, the different operating approaches lead to significantly different performance outcomes. Outlet A exceeded its sales target by 50%, achieved an excellent SOP compliance score of 96%, and maintained a low staff turnover rate of only 12%. This demonstrates that strict adherence to franchise systems can contribute to operational efficiency and business success. On the other hand, Outlet B experienced a 25% decline in target revenue, recorded a poor SOP compliance score of only 62%, and suffered a high staff turnover rate of 55%. Customers also complained about inconsistent food quality, which negatively affected the Crispy Crust brand reputation in the area. Therefore, this case highlights that in franchising, following established system and procedures is often more important than personal business preferences. Strong operational discipline is a key factor in achieving sustainable franchise performance.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Afifah binti Ahmad Faizal and my metric number is 298082. The next I will talk about the key lesson of case study. We have a 4 key lesson. The first one is system compliance Trump industry experience. So, Madam Jo for the outlet A has no period F&B experience, but she success because she follow the franchisor SOP and treat the franchise as proven business system. In contrast, Encik Khairi for outlet B has strong food business experience, but failed because he modified recipe, changed supplier, and ignored the system. Belike his entrepreneurial autonomy was more valuable. So, this proven that willingness to follow the system is a far better predictor of success than prior industry knowledge. The second one is selection criteria must go beyond finance and location. The original selection criteria used by Encik Azmi only focus on finance capacity and location quality. Both franchise meet the requirement, yet their performance different drastic. This reveal a major gap. Personality fit, coachability, and alignment with the brand value were completely overlooked. Finance capability ensure entering, but compliance ensure long-term survival and profitability. The next one is no compliance creates a vicious cycle of fail. There is a direct link between low SOP compliance and high staff turnover at outlet B. When procedures are constant, change or ignore, operation become chaotic, leading to employer frustration and high attrition. High turnover means new staff are never trained properly using the office module, which lower compliance, even future this cycle result in consistent product quality, customer dissatisfaction, and revenue loss. The last one is brand integrity depends on uniformity. Deviation made by one franchise, outlet B, harm the reputation of the entire Crispy Crunch brand in the region. In franchising, the product sold to customer is consistency. When one outlet change the taste or the quality, customer blame the brand, not just the individual outlets. Protecting the system integrity is intentional to protect the value of the investment for all franchise in the network. The next is about intervention. So the first one is improvement to selection process. So we have 3. The first one is coachability assessment. Screen candidates especially for their willingness to follow strict guideline without feeling they are independent is traded. The second one is evaluate understanding of partnership. So ensure candidate understand that a franchise is a partnership and that their autonomy is limitation to what is alone witness the agreement. The last one is test alignment. Assess whether the application view themselves as an independent business owner or a system partner. So, those who priority doing things their own way are risk high candidate. The second one is corrective action for outlet B, Encik Khairil. Step 1 is audit and formal documentation. Issue and
official non-compliance report detailing the low SOP score and specific contract breach, bypassing improved supply chain, alter recipe and not using the centralized post system. This serves as legal proof and a baseline for improvement. Step 2 is mandatory retraining and reorientation. Enforce a compulsory system retraining program. The focus must be on explain why consistent prevents brand equity and how his change that really caused the drop in sale and staff morale. He must demonstrate ability to operate strictly according to the manual. Step 3 is a conditional probating or terminate. Set clear KPIs and a timeline for improvement. If compliance does not improve significantly after support and training are provided, Encik Azmi must enforce the contract up to termination. This protect the wide network and send a strong message to other franchise about the importance of awareness. The last one is system-wide improvement. We have two. The first one is standardized training enforcement. Made it mandatory for all outlets to use the franchisor training module for new hires to break the cycle of poor knowledge transfer. The second one is train centrally system, ensuring post system and support chain are designed to prevent bypassing or modification, reducing the opportunity for deviation. Okay, the next one is about local framework version Malaysia content. So we have three. The first one is role of government agency. So Crispy Crunch utilize support from Perbadanan Nasional Berhad Pernas, a key Malaysia agency that provide finance assistance, a training and development program to encourage local entrepreneurship and franchise grow. This support lower the barrier to entry, allowing more Malaysians to own franchise. So the implication is why government funding facility entry does not replace the need for strict operationality discipline. Franchisor must clearly communicate the subsidies entry does not equal relaxed rule. The second one is about the psychological contract gap. So, a unique challenge in the Malaysia franchise ecosystem is that many franchise entering via government scene view themselves as independent entrepreneur receive its rate than partner bound by a corporate system. Okay, the last one is a market sensitivity to consistency. Malaysia consumers are highly brand conscious and expect the same taste, quality and service standard regardless of the location. In the local market, inconsistency is quickly pushed in by customer and spread rapidly via word of mouth or social media. Therefore, standardization is a primary competitive advantage in the local F&B landscape, making SOP compliance even more critical here than in some other market.